Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Obviously, I just got home from a little party. So we're going to talk about what size aquarium, or should I say, what size saltwater aquarium do I need? I think it's a great topic. So I figured I will do this because a lot of people want to know. What up late? Yeah, I'm there. Want to know what size and what size is the best size and all the above. What's up, X-Jack? So don't forget, guys, when you come in, hit the thumbs up. Having some potato chips. Daily Reefing. What's going on, my man? So, what size? What's the best size? All the above. Yeah, please hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you, Harkins. Sour cream and onion chips are very good. So that's $1 million question everybody in this hobby likes to know. And bigger is always better. I don't care what she says. No notification on live. Heads up, may take people a minute. Yeah, I have no idea, man. What's up? YouTube dropping the ball. Notification. I mean, I'm sure it's because of all kinds of stuff that's going on, in the world. Who knows? Not even trying to worry about it because I'm going to drop these videos and eventually people are going to see them. And, all the above. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So, you got the notification? Maybe it's hit and miss. Once again, if you're not getting it, maybe make sure in your notification settings to allow notification and hit all. If you hit sometimes or whatever, that might be a problem. I don't know, but I would almost think that does, because sometimes some people get it and some people don't. But I'm talking about the same ones will get it, and the next time they don't get it. So you might want to check your settings and make sure that you hit all. With that being said, anyway, so what is the right size saltwater aquarium for you starting off? I think that's a loaded question. I honestly have my personal opinion on where a person should start off. Unfortunately, that's not realistic for some people. So, Rick says, I got the notification. Well, there you go. I have a 60-gallon tube, softy and mini tank, and water box 130 SPS, but will upgrade to the newer water box 5-foot LX model 60 cube is so easy in my opinion. One light, easy flow. There you go. And once again, as I was saying, that it's really, how do you say what is, the best size? You don't know everybody's circumstances. You don't know everybody's living arrangement, the square footage of house, how much room they have, what they don't have, what's allowed. Do they rent? Do they own? All these things can play a big part in what size saltwater aquarium is the best for them, even if it might not be allowed if they're a renter or whatever the case may be, but they love the hobby and they like to just chime in from time to time just to, because they're intrigued and maybe are thinking about it because they're getting ready to move. I don't know what their situation is or what the case may be. Late night reef height. There you go. Yes. So me, what I prefer. Should I start with me or should I just allow you guys? How about you guys? Let me know, what do you think, in your personal opinion, is the best saltwater aquarium to start off with? Yeah, I think I'll ask you guys that and see what you guys have to say about that first, and then I'll give my 2 cents or input as well. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully, you guys are loving these episodes. I'm knocking them out. I'm telling you guys that as I'm waiting for you guys to answer. I'm pushing a lot of videos this year for 2021, so we're doing it. And then I'm gonna also let you guys know what everybody says. Reggie Pearman, hey man, I greatly appreciate that, bud. That is awesome. Thank you for the support of this channel. Thank you so much. Also, if you guys like to become a member and all that stuff, we do have the members button. If you have an iPhone, I don't know exactly how that works. Some people have problems with it. Some people said you have to go do it from Safari. Open up your Safari and do it from there if you have an iPhone and would like to become a member there. So anyway, with that being said, let's see. Says 40 breeder. What's up, Ted? Says 40 breeder, and one says 60 cube. 40 breeders. A 40 breeder is easy to maintain. And 60 cube is the best for beginners. SPS dominant, couple altering fish, Red Sea reefer, 5 foot, 525 XL, pretty comfortable on the bank account. Okay. Is that what you recommend? Extract is a 5 foot aquarium to start off. So once again, okay, so for me, I would like to say that I love with Nano currently. Okay, Nano. I'll give you guys some heads up. I have a couple tanks that I'm actually getting in. Hopefully they arrive without being broke. A couple tanks, that are on a smaller side as well. What made me go live at 12? I just got home. I planned on doing another live, and at the end of the day, maybe other people are up at this time to, want to live stream. I don't know. I'm not going to bed anytime soon. So I was like, you know what? They're down there cleaning up the house and all that cool stuff. Let me go live and get out the way. So, and it's, hey, all it is a video anyway that a lot of people are either going to see here or see later on. Also, real quick, as you guys are coming in, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up, like button, please. It'd be greatly appreciated. Also, with that being said, you can also pass around any of these videos that you see on your own social media to help get it out there. It might be interesting for somebody else to watch as well, because notifications have been really screwing up. Could be a punishment to me for not posting in for some time, or it's just simply, I don't know what a camera does that sometimes, or it's simply just the fact that YouTube is just screwing up. Let me try to wipe this camera real quick. Okay. There we go. Let's see if we can, maybe that help, because it's been doing that a lot lately. I don't know. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. All right. Anyway, so my personal opinion on on the, what size saltwater aquarium do I need topic. I don't know it so much if you need it's whatever you have room for. Once again, that um, depends on all kinds of things. Like I've already mentioned, do you own, rent, staying with a friend, a multitude of things. What your pockets can afford at the time. You have to understand what's best for you. Also, what space? What type of space do you have for an aquarium? That's a big thing. What type of space do you have to work with? These all are going to play a big part in understanding what type of saltwater aquarium do you need. Also, do you want something that's all-in-one? Do you want something that has a sump, separate filtration? Do you want to hang on a back filtration? These are other things that you do have to consider. So before making your purchase, understanding that. So speeding it up now, if you have all these things planned out, you are able to have an aquarium, even if you rent due to your, contract or whatever with your landlord. If you're able to have one, then have one. If you haven't already figured out what size you're capable of working with, cool. These are all the things that you're able to do. So with that being said, I always tell people, for me, and it's just my opinion, the bigger the tank, the easier it is for you. Some people find smaller aquariums more easier to maintain. I think for those people, that might be very well true. Maybe some people will find that larger aquariums are actually harder than smaller aquariums. The reason I say larger aquariums, I feel, or I will suggest a larger aquarium, is because it actually gives you more wiggle room when you make mistakes versus a small aquarium is the mistakes could be catastrophic right now. And you wipe out everything at that moment versus a little larger aquarium. You might lose some, might not lose everything. Also, there's some time that's going to allow you to maybe make some adjustments to fix some problems or an accident that you did. All right. So I normally, suggest, I'd like to stay over 90 gallons, preferably about a 120. I know that's not feasible for some people. With that being said, does that mean that you should not get into this industry? No, it does not mean that. If anything, it just means to be more careful when dealing with a smaller system. Meaning, be more observant on what you're doing and all that. I think you can be just as successful, if not more successful sometime, depending on who you are as an individual with a smaller aquarium. It doesn't take a lot of products if you're dosing that aquarium to level things out. There are plus sides for having a smaller aquarium, and that being one that I just said. It takes smaller amounts of product to shift alkalinity, calcium, whatever it is, as far as your parameter, versus a larger aquarium is going to take a little more to get your parameters in check. There's plus and minus to both. But once again, it's not you, should I say, not myself or anybody else to tell you what's best for you. Unfortunately, you might start off on a smaller and realize that, hey, you're not happy, you're not satisfied, you wish you would have went larger, and vice versa. So with that being said, let me see here in the chats. Depends on what you need to have inside aquarium. If you cannot be in the hobby without having a Ringo angel, you need an aquarium that can house it properly. The Cantharius reef, that makes a very good point. Also understanding the inhabitants that you also want in your aquarium. And maybe I should have said that a little bit earlier, but I'm saying it now. And that is a very, very good point. We can't forget about what exactly do we want to do, or the animals we would like to keep in that aquarium. That will determine also what size aquarium you actually need for that animal. So keep that in mind, you know. And I don't like to see people say, well, I'm going to do this for now, and then I'm going to upgrade later. Sometimes things happen where you're not able to upgrade when you think you are, and therefore, who do you think suffers? The animal. Confined into a very small space and all that is just not cool. So before you rush into anything, understand, pick a list or have a list of all your fish that you would like to keep. Also understand that you need to figure out, can they get along? Are they going to constantly fight? Also, you know, how big are they going to get? All these things are going to play a big part in that. So once again, thank you, Decantherus, for pointing that out as well, because that is absolutely needed in this talk. Right. I got a 13.5 gallon, so I could have a hippo tag. Yes, that is not the case. Okay. Maybe a little teeny bitty one, but they're going to grow quick. So I wouldn't suggest getting one in a 13.5 gallon aquarium, or you will have the tank police on you. And trust and believe, I've been doing this long enough, you don't want the tank police on you. It's nerve-wracking. You know, everybody's your dad in here, and everybody's concerned about you. And, you know, just one of those things. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. So you have to make sure that you just obviously don't worry about anybody else. Don't do it. You're not going to make, you know, do what's right for you. Be happy with your purchase. Be happy with your aquarium that you choose. Understand, have your list. What's the max size of your fish going to be? And make your aquarium size around that, and the footage that you have. Like for me, behind me, okay, have the footage. So anyway, so with that being said, what else? What else can I talk about? I think I did. I like to hear more or get more input. Would you guys like to add to this? And I'll read your guys' comments here. If you'd like to add to this and figure out, or should I say, add to this for people that are going to be watching this, new hobbyists and all that, and you would like me to express some of the things or concerns that, you know, maybe I missed. Like the Canthers picked up a good key point. What do you guys have? Size to your tank should be for the most restrictive fish. Okay. My tank is in a 55. I got, okay. When she was the size of a dime. There you go. How do you guys feel your personal self when it comes to tank size? Do you feel what I just said is correct? A way of thinking when purchasing your aquarium size. Don Smith, first time seeing. Best first choice is to watch Rico's channel, learn. Well, thank you, Don, and appreciate your donation here to the channel. Thank you so much for that. All I do is try to make it what it is, Don, and keep it simple and just try to keep my head screwed on. Let's see. For others to renting, question mark. If so, lease restrictions, and remember it has to be moved. Hey, Flashkin, I think that's a great point. That's a great point. Single stroke swimming length versus footprint versus volume is another thing with active fish. Once again, the Canthorus, thank you so much. He makes a great point. Active fish. How do fish swim? Understanding that all fish do not swim the same way. They have different swim patterns versus an Achilles tang versus a normal, say, yellow tang. Swim patterns definitely is a something to think about as well, and that goes into what size, how big these fish are going to get, but also something else to think about, understanding their swimming pattern. So with that being said, real quick, everyone, I know there's more people coming in, so I will repeat this as more people come in. Please, if you didn't hit the thumbs up, go hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much. What else? Hawkins, I think if you have a tang of any kind, of any king to tanks, small to 5 foot wide. Okay. I think he did some, but I think what he's trying to say, I think you have any tang, the smallest footprint maybe should be 5 foot, if I'm not mistaken. He might I'm not understanding, but yeah, I think he's saying something like that. Tang of any kind instead of king to takes smaller, the 5 foot. He might be not typing and driving. Another factor is coral selection. If you want to keep aggressive coral, good point here, Flashkin. Some like Galaxia, torches, bubble corals need space. Want 20 different sticks? They need space to grow. Unfortunately, and that is true. Understanding not just for your fish, if you would like to have a coral reef tank, and some of those corals are very aggressive, you have to create space for them to be able to thrive and not kill off other corals that you spent good money for, other animals. So if you get a tank of any kind, the tank should be at least 5 foot wide, and length. And length, right? Length, not width. But yeah, you could do 4 foot, but I think 4 foot is still a little too much for tangs. To be honest, I agree a little bit. I've seen it done, but with 1 or 2 in it, and it's fine with that many, and the rest small. But it's something to think about. They are going to get big. The coral space is another factor. They take up swimming room from the fish. So that needs to be considered, which a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't consider that corals are going to grow and they're going to take up swimming room. Both will be growing progressively, and it will likewise be much more cramped with maturity. That is true. As corals grow and as the fish grows, the swimming area in space is going to become very shortened. Okay, so you have to consider that. You know, and it's really up to you. And it's just for beginners, really. It's for people that are thinking about getting into this hobby, wondering what's the best saltwater aquarium out there starting off, basically. So maybe, but rock work is also huge in that regard. That is true. That's very true. Your rock work, your aquascape, your corals growing, all these things are going to consume swimming space for your fish. Once again, depending on your fish selection. That doesn't mean you need to get a huge fish or a huge tank. That means if you go smaller, you might want to consider smaller fish that are not going to grow and stay fairly small as other things grow. On top of single fish requirements, you have to consider multiple fish and escape. Fish need hides and space to reduce aggression. That's true. Very much true. Hello, Fish Tropic. Good to see you, my man. Thank you for coming in, hanging out at 12:30 a.m. in the morning here. 4 is not the size to be mixing tang species. No, I don't personally think so, neither. Species genuses, the Cancer is saying in his opinion. I have to agree with that. Exactly. It's considered functional so long as they get their detritus equivalents. Yeah, I'm here. I made sure she has plenty of caves. That's awesome. I'm not saying you cannot get away with it, which I agree too. Just saying it gets less consistent. I do believe in diffused aggression through high stroking densities with tangs, though. With tang, though. Okay. Yeah. You can do it. Obviously, it's maybe not the best practice to do in a 4-foot tank. Maybe one tank, some clowns, one species of something, a pair of clowns, another different fish, 2 tanks. Can it be done? We know it can be done. Might not be the a way to really do it because they can have some aggression and stress and all that. I mean, it just really depends. It's something that you have to decide for yourself on that as well. Nobody's saying what you can and cannot do, as you heard, but it might not be the best practice. But hey, we all learn the easy way. We take mental notes. We listen to other people's suggestion, and then we learn from there. We either do or we don't. We either pay the price or we don't. It's just one of those things. This is strictly just to help people coming in. Gotta love 2021. Here we go. I love a school I love a school, small fish over a few large fish. But remember, functional fish are huge as well. And that is correct. There, tangs and, I like to use fish as a part of a crew. I like to choose fish based on what they can do for the aquarium. Can they help keep algae down like tangs? And, are they going to eat algae? What type of algae maybe they're going to consume more than others? Don't get me wrong. If they don't serve a purpose that way, they serve a purpose by simply eating and creating waste, fine particulates for corals, basically coral food for corals. So, where am I at? Smaller tanks, I always suggest bristletooth tanks. That's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Additional utility fish are factors. Tanks under certain size cannot have certain wrasses, tangs, foul fish, etc. This means you will have to be the one to remove bubble algae and nudies, red bugs, and all that. That is very true. That is very true. Just consider that as well. Pest control fish, smaller the tank, you might not be able to have certain fish that are going to help you maybe in those pest controls because it is smaller. So you're going to be the one that's manually going to have to do that. That is very true. I have to clown a tank in a 55 with a 40-gallon sump. There you go. I have a yellow tang, sailfin tang, and blonde naso tang in a 180 with no problems. 180-gallon aquarium. I don't expect you to have any problems in 180 gallons at all. There's ample amount of space in 180 gallons. I personally think 180 gallons is the perfect size aquarium. The biggest you need to go, I think it will take care of all your needs, but I won't get too much caught into all that. But I love 180s. I love a 180-gallon aquarium. My tank would poop in the right corner, then go to the left and act like what? I've seen fish do that. They pick a corner almost like it's a litter box, just one certain spot. Literally, I've seen that multitude of times over the years. That wasn't me. I love it. 48 gets small for a tank. It does. It does get small for a tank. 48, 48, and that's 4 feet, guys. And gals. I need a grazer. And only thing I could find that would take care of green hair algae. I argue strictly ornament fish that are able to keep your interest in the display better, make for a better maintained reef as their purpose of lure. Okay, all right. Ornamental fish, all right, that are able to keep. Are you strictly okay? Yeah. I love 225 with the 75-gallon sump. Function. Not sure how autocorrect got out of that. Yeah, it happens. Anyway, so moving on. I mean, I think that sums up a lot for anybody new that's coming in here. What size saltwater aquarium do I need? We just hit so many different perspectives, so many different things and reasons why fish selection, coral growth, the rocks in your aquarium, all these things that are going to play a part overall. And these are things that I think before you make a purchase, to find what aquarium you need, sit down and make a list. Figure out what your must-haves are far as animal selection. Figure out, are you doing a reef, aquarium, or are you doing a fish only aquarium? You know, Figure out all these things and base it from that. I think. Would you guys agree on that? Would you think, after you sat down and you did all that, this is where you'll, base obviously your fish selection and the size that they're going to grow as corals grow too, understanding the volume of space that their corals are going to take up, your rock work, all these things. So limited swimming space. I think this is a good talk, actually. I think we hit everything maybe possible that you can hit when looking to figuring out what saltwater aquarium do you need. I don't know why I chose this topic. Well, I do, because I get that a lot. A lot of people ask, well, what size aquarium is the best? And I think the best is based on you as an individual, on what you can have. I mean, none of us know where you live, what kind of space you're working with, or any of these things. So, but I do think it's a good question when people ask that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a good question. I think it's a solid question. And first off, let me say this. I don't think any question is a bad question, even though I know people get tore up, from forums or been somewhere else, and get chewed out for that. But I really like where this just went tonight on this topic, because I think it's really going to help people that are looking for that answer kind of hear all opinions here. Stuff that who thinks about all these things? Let's think about it. All you know is you want an aquarium and you're going to go to the store and buy one. You're not thinking about the fish selection. You're not thinking about the fish. Maybe you are, but you're not thinking about how big they're going to get. You're not thinking about, are they going to have enough room? You're not thinking about, how big the corals are going to get and take up the room in the aquarium, your aquascape, the space. I mean, you might understand what space you're working with. You might have an idea of what you're going to go buy, but what about all the other things that are very, very important, because you were talking about animals? So with that being said, I don't know. I think we did depth over height, give the fish better footprint. Amen. Build the tank around the fish selection. Building a tank around the fish selection. Maybe that should have been the title. Building your tank around the fish selection. I mean, that's the truth. I think that's summing it all up in one nutshell. And that's what it comes down to. Building the aquarium around your animals. We're not just talking about fish. We're talking about corals. If you are doing corals, if you're doing fish, then we're talking about fish. Yep. Build it around fish selection and account for structures, including mature coral growth. Yeah. I think you should also look at the cost of the equipment. Make sure you can afford the equipment that goes with the tank size. That is definitely something also to look at. Maybe that should be a sequel to this, or, basically what Hunkins is saying, understanding all the mechanical filter you are going to need to sustain your animals. You can't just go buy an animal and not have proper shelter or food for that animal, proper tools, or whatever the case may be. A lot of people do. It's not cool, though. It's not cool at all. So making sure that you're able to have also all the care requirements that are going to help you with that animal and give that animal the best life that it can have, because it is in captivity. So I think it is on us to make sure that we give our animals the best that they can get care-wise. And yeah, I'm with that as well. Don't forget, everyone that's coming in, please, if you didn't hit the thumbs up, please go back and hit the thumbs up. Obviously, I appreciate it, and it shows that you guys actually appreciate this channel and what it is that I'm doing and trying to do. So thank you very much, everyone. If you haven't, it only takes 1 second to do that. Please make sure you do that. Build the biggest tank you can afford for the size you have. That's another great way to work at it, or to look at it, should I say. I'll ask a customer, do you want just Nemos and corals, or do you to have Dory? Let's build a livestock list and decide from there. Most definitely need to build something. You need that person needs to sit down. But what I do believe is, as somebody of my caliber, here, even if I did on a LFS or anything, and not to shoo them away or anything, but I would probably walk them around, show them some things, show them some tanks, show them some fish sizes, kind of ask them some questions, figure it out, and then send them home to think about what it is that they really want, make a list for themselves, think about it long and hard. That's what I probably personally would do if I ran an LFS, which I will never do. But that's one thing I would consider. I prefer to do this than run that. But I would, because sending them home, not letting them do impulse buys. I think, impulse buy, which a lot of people do. They're so excited. They're talking about it. They're thinking of, and they just want to jump head in. They really have no clue what they really want. Everything sounds good. I'm talking to the LFS. He wants to sell me this aquarium. I think it's cool. He's going to give me a good price. He's going to do, and before you know it, you're wrapped in all this, and it's nothing what you think. It all sounds good, and we make impulse buys, but we're all guilty of impulse buys. By the way, we've all done it. But I would make sure that person went home, did some more research, and watch some videos. Direct them to YouTube. Hey, whatever it is you're thinking, go look on YouTube. See, kind of look at some aquariums with some big fish in it. Figure out what size that is. See if that's feasible. See if the fish are moving good and how it looks. Something growing out. I mean, take your time. Unfortunately, in this hobby, everybody is very impatient. We make impulse buys, and at the end of the day, we hurt our pockets, but we somewhat hurt the animals and the things that we're trying to keep. Pockets that you can always, whatever. But once animals' lives and stuff like that, that's another story. That's up to you, to understand it or not. So also part of the problem with new people is not knowing how corals grow. I like that. It is the same with planet tanks. Once you have seen examples and had experiences, it makes more sense. I like how that was well put, Flashkin. I like that. Then I usually tell them, once we had coral, it becomes a science experiment. That is a very good point. Especially in the saltwater hobby, and learning it and understanding that tank that you just purchased and everything that you're doing to that aquarium, You are now Frankenstein. You are a little mad scientist. And everything is going to be an experiment. What's going to work or not work. And a lot of that is just based off of, new tanks are very unstable. So once again, it gets into why I try to tell people the bigger you can go, I think is a lot better for you. I think it's going to be more patient for a beginner's skills. The difference is it does, or should I say, it will cost more money, which a lot of times is not cool, but it is a real thing. The bigger you go, the more it does cost. At the end of the day, I prefer to see people, when you make a mistake, at least have somewhat of an opportunity to try to correct it before it just completely goes downhill. Downhill is very faster in a smaller aquarium. How would you guys say so? Would you guys agree to that statement, or how you guys feel about that? Don Smith, thank you. Got to get your PH in chemistry and biology. Oh, man. People don't realize when they purchase a fish, it's a juvenile and how big it will get. True. DTX Flex says, I'm always finding reefers that are fairly new dropping out of the hobby because of not planning properly and having tank issues. That's true. There's a lot of people that that happens to. And then, everybody else capitalizes on whole tanks that are being sold because they give up. They get discouraged, and they get even more discouraged trying to get information, trying to get help, and people are just rude. It happens, and all the above. And at the end of the day, too, not taking anything off of those people that are just throwing their hands up and getting out the hobby, but you somewhat can't get mad at nobody besides yourself. You didn't plan properly. You didn't, do the necessary things to get yourself off to a good start. And just understand, for those that are watching that are new, just because you actually think that you did all your homework and you got off to a good start, understand this. You do need to realize that you are trying to create an ecosystem to sustain life. And with that being said, even though if you was to do everything that was basically talked about today here on this episode, which is episode, Aquarium Talk and everything in between, episode 22, you need to realize that it's a very unstable ecosystem, and it's going to be that way for a long time. And what I mean by a long time, if you can get to the 2-year mark, you are doing an excellent job. But with that being said, understanding that those first 2 years are going to be a ride 9 times out of 10 for you. You're going to have ugly phases. You're going to have good times. You're going to have bad times. The further you go and the longer, meaning after those 2 years, is when you'll start to see things really settling in and trying to run smooth. Also, with that all being said, don't forget to document everything you do to your aquarium. I say this a lot during many live streams. Document everything you do, the time you did it, why you did it, make notes. Why did you change this? What was the reason? Understanding, don't change multiple things at one time. Give it time to work. People change one thing and they think that it's going to fix the problem overnight. Unfortunately, those problems took a while to occur to show their ugly face. So, nothing good happens fast, only bad things happen fast. And it's up to you to make sure that you document everything, write it down, time, date, the full 9 yards, so you have a diagram, a log, so you can go back and see what was what. I mean, you're testing, what time you test, the whole 9 yards. It's very important, and I cannot stress this enough, especially to new hobbyists. A lot of the somewhat 2-year, 3-year hobbyists still go through things. You ask them questions and they have nothing documented. They tried to ask you for your help. I asked them this and that. We've been talking for 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, oh, and I also did this too, but I don't think that had any. Well, it could have something to do with it. And now that you remember that, what are some of the things that you don't remember still that you've done? It's a lot to try to remember from one day to the next when it comes to your aquarium as well, let alone what you did, how many times you went to the bathroom that day, how many glasses of water. I mean, think about all that. Do you actually remember all this? Probably not. But anyway, moving on real quick. Don't forget, guys, hit those thumbs up. Thank you so much. My favorite fish is a harlequin tusk, and I bought them at it's a 1 inch that now we have them at about a foot 8 years later. That fish can poop. That's another thing. You know, the bio load is going to get up and up and up as things grow. I'm torn. Reaction times have to be quicker in a small tank, but solutions to problems are easier. A 5-gallon bucketed water change on a 5 or 20-gallon tank is easy and manageable. Doing that on a 1K system, that once again, there's your ups and downs. It's a lot more expensive, takes a lot more, but it takes a lot more to budge something. And what I mean by that, I think Flaskin's talking about the fact that when something's going bad. Well, something in a small 20-gallon aquarium is going to go bad. If it's going bad, it's going to go bad very fast. When something in a larger system, you see it going bad. By the time you see it going bad, you still have time to correct it because it's a slower process. The only problem is if you need to do more water change, it's going to cost you more. Trust me, I know these things. I've had large aquariums. It's going to cost you more. So it's definitely choose your poison type stuff. So it really is. Flash review, dedicate time to planning for it and being able to easy execute it. It is just as easy with dedicated infrastructure. You won't have to lift a bucket. That's one thing I'm not doing is lifting buckets. So yes, correct on that. Lifting buckets of water with large tanks at all. Correct. Salt ain't free. That is right. Salt is not free. Not at all. So I use a calendar to keep track of things. Has been a game changer for me. Fish Frank Phil. That's awesome to hear that. You don't hear a lot of people say, hey, I'm using this to keep track, or I'm using that. It's very quiet when that subject comes up, actually. There's a lot that you can learn from yourself. You don't need me or really anybody else to learn from. It's nice to have people you can go and reference things or listen to them talk. People like me. At the end of the day, the best experience you're going to get, hands down, listen to people like me, but doing it yourself, and being hands-on, and either take the advice or don't take the advice, experiment. And the longer you do these things, the more you're going to see what I'm saying, and you're going to hone in on a lot of tips, tricks, and just becoming very successful. Everybody has to start somewhere. Everybody is going to listen to somebody, even if you don't want to. Curiosity, you're frustrated, you're trying to figure things out, you don't know why things are happening. Guess what? I don't know why things are happening for you neither. The only difference is that, yes, you can ask me a question based off my experiences. I can give you some pointers to where to begin. Ultimately, you're with your tank all the time. You know what you're doing. You know what you're not doing. And you have to look deep inside yourself and be truthful with yourself in the things that you're doing. You understand where I'm coming from? So you have to look at it that point of view and understand ultimately only one can change your tank or fix your problems are you. Bouncing questions off of people like me, myself, can help you, or maybe make you think about something that you didn't think about, and make that light bulb go off and go, ha. So that's pretty much what this has been about. I've been at this for a very long time with this channel. The Cantharus know, Flashkin knows, Harkin knows, a lot of people know. I've had my ups and downs. It's not easy doing this, but I have that passion to do it. I mean, I'm just being honest. I love what it is I do, and I hope whoever comes across this video will feel that it was very helpful to them. So I always keep mixed salt water on hand. Myself, same with RO. I keep both. I keep 105 gallons of RO water, 105 gallons of salt water. Okay, so I do both myself. I think it's very important if you have the space to be able to do that for in caseya. And that pretty much stands for if case poop happens. You're prepared. Everything's ready to go. And because you never know what can go wrong in this hobby, more than likely will go wrong. It's just one of those things. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this late night 1 a.m. talk about this was a great talk. I did appreciate it. Thank you guys for all coming in, hitting the thumbs up. If you guys have any other comments, please leave them in the comment section of all the videos that once they are uploaded or posted. You can always go back in and let me know what other topics you would like to talk about. Trust and believe. It's up to you. If you want to show some appreciation and want to contribute to these talks and think that I should be bringing up other topics, or I'll just continue to bring up the topics that I have on my own. So once again, just thanks each and every one of you guys. Thank you for super chats. Thank you for becoming a member once again of this channel, and I hope to see you guys probably in a couple hours in the morning or something. I'll be doing you guys another live stream. So if you guys have anything you'd like to know once I'm done with this video, just go to this video, leave it in the comment section, and I'll probably maybe pick your topic for the morning talk. And yeah, I might be able to get a couple in too before I go on a nice motorcycle ride. So everybody have a good night. Thank you so much. Feel like I'm rambling on now. Thank you. Let me know in the comments after this video too on how well you think this topic was. And should I continue doing this? or should I just call it quits for 2021? You guys let me know. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.